What's going on? Good evening and welcome. You are tuned in and watching the Zone Blitz by NFL Female. This is the weekly webcast, again produced by NFL Female, www.nflfemale.com. We've been down, our website's been down, but when it's back up and running, be sure to jump on there and check out all the latest and greatest articles by all of the fantastic women who cover all 32 NFL teams, including the Detroit Lions and the New Orleans Saints, which we have two of our reporters for this show. By the way, I am Sharona. You can follow me on Twitter at Sports by Sharona. I am the official NFL reporter for NFL Female. And again, I'm joined by two of my wonderful, wonderful sisters over at NFL Female. So I'm going to kick it over to Sonja first, who is going to tell us about her wonderful experience covering the enshrinement ceremony at the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
All right. Hi, everybody. Like Sharona said, I am Sonja. I am the official fan reporter for NFL Female for the Detroit Lions. You can follow me on Twitter at mom3RN. And yes, I was so able to go to the Hall of Fame this weekend and the enshrinement ceremony. Oh, wait, hang on 1 second. I hear screaming and crying in the background. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
While Sonja goes and checks on the two most adorable little girls in the entire world, let's go ahead and get Kat in here and let her introduce herself.
Hey, I'm Kat. I'm the official fan reporter for the New Orleans Saints. You can find me on Twitter at Lash, like an eyelash, Williams. Clash Williams, as I like to say.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the Saints last week. The Junior Gillette situation was pretty big, and now we've got another. It's not really similar, but a guy who got sucker punched in the locker room. The New York Jets starting quarter. Well,
not anymore.
Well, he's not now. It was going to be interesting to see if he did win that starting quarterback job. Second round pick of the New York Jets a couple of years ago, and a guy who's really struggled to fulfill that promise that the New York Jets had in him. But they did draft him fairly high, and so they certainly had the incentive to want him to get the job. So we have Sonja back.
I'm back. Everything is fine. She just kind of tipped over a chair and scratched her back. She's okay.
Oh.
I think Jill's a little
Sonja, by the way, has
too.
the most adorable little girls in the entire world.
They're the silliest little girls in the entire world, but everybody's okay, thank goodness. But just sometimes Jill gets that high-pitched scream. I'm like, what? What's wrong?
Uh-oh.
Okay, but she's fine. Now, back to the Hall of Fame. So, yes, I was so excited. I got to go to the Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony this weekend, and it was absolutely amazing. It was just so nice just to sit there in the stands and just be well, number one, it felt like a Pittsburgh Steelers home game. Let's just put it that way.
The Steelers fans travel so well.
They do. Oh my gosh, all these Steelers fans were all over the place. And once again, thank you, Kate and her husband, Joe, for hosting us. And Kate was very, very good. She really wanted to lash out at the Steeler fans, but she held it down and kept it good. So I was very proud of her. But anyway, it was just nice just to be around all that history, all the legacy. Like, as Chris Berman is introducing all the Hall of Famers on the stage, I'm just like, wow, I am in their presence. It was just a weird kind of overwhelming but awesome feeling.
It's pretty awe-inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah, awe-inspiring.
It really is.
That's really what it. And then, not only is it football, but it's just history. And I like history, and so just being around all that, I was just like, wow, this is kind of nice. So the ceremony itself was really, really good. Probably my favorite one was Frank Tarkenton and Mick. Oh gosh, I can always the T-Boys. How Frank Tarkenton and Mick. Terrell Hoff, I think is his name. He had to speak for him. That was so sweet. It was so sweet. And it's just like there's that bond that I've been with them for forever. And, you know, as he's getting inducted to the Hall of Fame, and just, it was just nice. That was a very nice, moving moment. Another couple things that I noticed. My hand is a little bit smaller than Troy Aikman's, so you never know. I could possibly palm a ball and be a quarterback one day. Also, we met Lincoln Kennedy, and we did a quick little interview with him. Lincoln was with his brother, Sam, and Liz really got to start talking to his brother and, you know, telling him all about NFL female, and his brother was like, oh, you guys want to interview him now? And we're like, yeah, of course. So we did a quick little interview with him. And once the website is up, it was so awesome, just so nice. And he was so just like gracious and just a nice individual, so nice. Didn't care, you know, people are coming up to him, you know, they're like, do you mind if we take a picture? He's like, sure, why not? But I'm going to post, once the website's back up, I'll post our interview. So that was nice. I loved meeting Dana, Cindy, Liz, Kate in person. It was just so nice. And it was just, you know, we were all sitting around eating.
Did Michelle make it? Was Michelle able to make it?
No, Michelle didn't get to make it. We missed her. We missed Lisa. We missed you. We missed everybody.
I know. I wanted so badly to go.
I know. But it was just so nice. You know, Saturday morning, we're sitting around eating eggs and bacon and talking football. And it was just a beautiful thing. It was just so nice. And I cannot forget our brother Russ, who was there, Russell Baxter, the sports guru, the football guru, I should say. And
but did you get meatballs?
Yes, we got meatballs. He made us meatballs, and they were very, very good. So it was just a great weekend, just being around everybody and just talking football and just living it up. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, Kate and her husband are fantastic, and they were so gracious to us last year.
They were extremely gracious. I got to sleep on maize and blue sheets, and with them being Ohio State fans, it was very hard for that to happen. But they did. We were able to make it happen. So that was good. But still, it was fun. We had a whole bunch of fun. We ate some great food, just made some memories. It was great. A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yes. It was awesome. And Cindy, did I say Cindy that I met Cindy?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay,
our Cindy, we're going to have
Cindy
to get
got
Cindy
on NFL Network a couple times, too. They showed her and her husband just walking around, and then I guess I got a picture of her when Junior Seau's daughter, who, you know, that was a very good speech, very moving, very just nice, and to see her and her brothers on stage next to their father's bus, it was just a good moment, all around good moments.
Yeah.
And
it's really an opportunity to enjoy the best that football and the NFL brings. It is.
Absolutely.
Totally. And Tim Brown's speech was longer in person, it felt like. So.
What was your favorite part about the whole thing?
Huh?
What was your favorite part about the whole thing?
My favorite part, there's too many to mention. Obviously, meeting the ladies had to probably be the highlight of the weekend, was meeting the ladies. But my other favorite part was just walking around the hall, I think. At first, I was just kind of like, you know, it's the hall. But once I got in there, I was like, wow. You know, I got to see, like, Pete Carroll's jacket. I got to see, you know, just like the artifacts, things like that. That was just cool. It was just really amazing and just kind of nice to see. Saw a couple Bobby Lane things, and I'm like, oh, Bobby Lane, why did you have to curse us?
No.
I know.
Well, I'm glad that you had a wonderful time, and I'm so sorry that I didn't get to make it. Maybe next year, hopefully.
I was about to say, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're working on some good stuff for next year. So that was good. Dana got to be in the press box,
Oh,
and
cool.
she got media credentials, so she got to report there. And this was kind of interesting, Sharona and Kat. There were about 50 guys, she said, in the press box, but she was only one of 3 women.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
wow.
very interesting. So,
Yeah,
NFL
there
female
weren't
kind of
very
on the
many
cutting
women in the
edge.
press box last year either.
There weren't that many in the press box
Mm-mm.
either.
No,
Yeah.
I was in the press box. I had media credentials last year, and um, there were some. By contrast, the draft was completely different. There were a ton of women. Well, I shouldn't say a ton, but there were a lot more women covering that. And
Hmm.
maybe it's because it's Canton is smaller, and it's harder to get accommodations and stuff like that. So
Could be. I mean, really, it's Canton, Ohio. There's really nothing around it. Let's be honest. So it is kind of in the middle of nowhere, but still, it
Yeah.
was nice. It was good. It was a great environment, just nice. And I did run into some Cowboy fans that had shirts on that said Des caught it, and I was like, well, it was PI. Des didn't catch it.
does anybody, we'll have to have a show talking about all these new rules. Does anyone know what a catch is anymore? Because, good Lord, the NFL has completely, they just keep messing it up. Do better.
Exactly. Do better.
Yeah.
Do better, NFL. Maybe the NFL needs like a separate independent governing body. Maybe that's what they need, to handle all the hard decisions for them. Because obviously they can't do it themselves, right?
I like it.
Well, in this case, it's not really Roger Goodell. It's more the competition committee than it is anything. But
True. That is true.
yeah, they just keep screwing around with it, and now nobody truly, because the new rule says it includes the phrase possible interception. What in the heck is a possible? I mean, what?
It's an interception or it's not.
I mean, it's like, I know that's why I said it's like being almost pregnant. Either you are or too, but anyway. Well, we'll get to that in another show. So let's go ahead and move on and get to our news and update section. I'm going to kick it over to Kat to lead us on this one.
All right, we can talk a little bit about the NFC. I think, luckily for Cam Newton, the Geno situation overshadows it a little bit.
Overshadowed it.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit, but you still don't want to see, a team leader. Geno, don't know what happened there, but you don't want to see a team leader getting into a scuffle the way Cam Newton did. You kind of want to see a little more maturity there from him, especially with someone, let's face it, I think it's their best weapon on the team, and you want to see him kind of be the leader he's supposed to be the teammate he's supposed to be.
Yeah, and not get hurt.
Yeah, honestly, what are you thinking? It's look at the Geno situation is now going to be like the perfect, just guys you don't want to be Geno. It's not worth it. It's training camp.
Exactly.
I don't care. What is someone going to say to you that's going to risk missing the season or the beginning of the season?
I can't figure that out. I have yet to think of something that would make me want to fight in training camp. Now, granted, I've never been to training camp as a player, so I don't know. But at the same time, come on, guys, we're grown-ups here. I don't know.
It's hot out there.
Tempers flare.
Guys are competing for jobs, and I'm with Kat. I mean, I think Cam has to be more careful.
Yeah.
But I mean, I forget who was it. Donnie Nicky, Vince Young had some training camp fights. Now I don't think that Jake Locker ever did. But I know Vince had two that I can remember. So, but yeah, I mean, some of it's understandable, but the worst part is what we saw happen with Gino, and he's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks, because of something that should have, maybe been handled a little bit differently. We'll talk about Gino
We'll get to Gino.
We'll get to Mr. Smith, and I'll tell you my feelings on that.
I wondered, what do you guys think of the Sam Bradford and the request to the Pope to bless his knees?
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
I totally missed that.
There's been a petition from Eagles fans
Oh, God.
to have Pope Francis come. This is my favorite thing to come out of the NFC, I'm not going to lie. Have Pope Francis bless Sam Bradford's knees.
Well, Lord help him, they need to be blessed.
I think they have how many quarterbacks on their bench right now?
Let's have a moment of silence and meditation for Sam Bradford's knees. Yes, okay. Bless his heart.
I mean, you got to give the guy A for effort.
Yeah.
You do. You do. I mean, and taking it to the Pope is one way. Is he even Catholic? Do you know?
I don't know.
We know Philip Rivers isn't, right? I mean, no, wait. I mean,
I think Philip Rivers is
Mormon.
Oh, is he Mormon?
Is he Mormon or is he Catholic? Well,
he's got 8. He's gonna have 8 youngins. Here, I'm gonna look it up real quick.
8.
I mean,
and find out how old his wife is too. I've been wondering that.
Okay.
Well, with 19 kids and counting gone, Philip Rivers can take that spot over. Get that going on.
I wanted to make an 8 is enough joke about it.
8 is enough, though. Seriously, you guys.
Enough.
You can afford a TV.
You know what causes it by now.
You'd think. But, I think that Sam Bradford getting his knees blessed would be a good thing. Any help you can get, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, you got Sam Bradford's been injury plagued his entire career pretty much, and I will say this as a USC Trojan alum, Matt Barkley is just not your shining backup. No,
I mean, I've said it. USC quarterbacks, and not to knock on them, but really haven't fared too well in the NFL. They really haven't.
I mean,
so,
who's
it's
still
not
active?
Really quarterback you.
No, I mean, Mark Sanchez is kind of floating around
with the Eagles.
Matt Barkley, one or two, but both of them aren't going to make the roster, though. I would be, well, who knows with the Eagles.
Would you think that Tebow would make it before them?
I mean, I would hope to God Tebow win it, but you never, again, Chip Kelly's roster decisions are kind of
exactly sketch to begin with, right?
You have no idea. I mean, if you're going to go racism with Chip Kelly, Tebow has probably the best shot of making it after, I mean, Sanchez could fall into some of the categories that he's been accused of not being a fan of.
Right.
But then Matt Barkley is also, Mr. Golden Boy, so who knows there.
True that. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
And can we talk about, go ahead. Did you have something, Sharona?
I was just going to say Philip Rivers is 33, and he and his wife, Tiffany, were childhood sweethearts, so she's around his age.
Okay.
And it does look like he is Catholic because there was an interview of Catholic website Franciscan Ministries.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Well, I mean, 6 kids, that's pretty standard for Catholics, too. Let's not.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, they're expecting their 8th, so, yeah.
Goodness.
Is this like their 3rd girl or something like that that's supposed to? I don't know. I thought I heard that. I could be wrong.
Could be. The funny part about it, I was Googling him, and his wiki page came up. You know how it does on Google? It has a spread of things, and it had him with that. I can't do it because I don't have Philip Rivers' face, but you know that.
That how?
Okay, wait. I'm going to share it with you guys so you can see.
The Philip Rivers pout.
Hold on.
I like it.
There's a way to do this. Here we go.
You know, Phillip Rivers is one of those guys. He's like a divider. Either you love him, or you
Yeah.
hate it. I don't think I've ever seen anybody in the middle. It's just Phillip Rivers, you either love him or you hate him.
You know, I will be the first person to get this to you. I have no opinion on him.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you, too. I really don't. I mean, he's done a good job. He's done a decent job.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's not, I don't know that he'll be terribly well remembered after
he has his 8th, 9th, 10th kid.
Yeah. I think we're gonna kind of forget he ever. Oh, I like the face. I see it now. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Phillip Rivers' face. I like it.
I'm back.
That was a great face.
I love it.
That's a great face, Mr. Rivers.
I mean, that is Rivers' face.
Mm-hmm.
Rivers'
And I feel like that describes my feelings on him. Just kind of. I don't know.
No, it's okay. It's okay. These things happen. Happen.
I mean, I shared my very strong opinion about Russell Wilson, completely unbased. I just hate him. But Phillip Rivers, same side of the country, no opinion. None whatsoever.
Yeah, you know, Phillip Rivers is the kind of guy that you can fun hate.
Yes.
Yeah.
If that makes any
Exactly.
sense. You know, it's fun to make fun of him and I don't want to say pretend hate, but you know, clown on him.
Yeah.
But it's all in good fun.
Exactly. I think
Like
that's
Drake.
I have a photo bomber.
Uh-oh.
Yes, you are. You are.
You.
Yes,
Get
you
over
are.
here.
Oh
We
my
wanna
gosh, you're
see
naked.
you.
Go get clothes on. Okay, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Oh
We got a streaker.
Exactly, got a streaker here. Oh my goodness, my kids are out of control tonight. That's okay. So yeah, more NFC stuff. Staying with the Eagles and the Cowboys, their nice little banner rivalry. Have you heard about that? Seen about that?
I have not, no.
I have not.
Well, you know, they wanted to. The Eagles fans wanted to fly a plane over Cowboys camp that said we got the Marco.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the poor pilot died. Died in a plane crash.
That was sad.
That's
was
horrible.
sad. That was sad. And
Mhm.
it wasn't the plane crash to go fly over Cowboys camp, was it? I don't think it was. Because if it was, that'd be unbelievably tragic.
That would be not a way to go.
Yeah, no, not a way to go at all. But then now the Cowboys fans are raising money for their own banner to still say that we them boys or something of that nature. And, you know, again, Jets, I blame you for this because you guys started it. So, so there's that.
Yeah, wow. So, trying to think. There was something. It sounds like Chris Johnson might sign with the Arizona Cardinals. They've
I saw that.
reportedly made him a 1-year contract offer.
Oh, no, that would be good.
Yeah, I think that works out for them, and it works out for him. So let's see how founded that is.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of wonder how he'll fit in with Andre Ellington, who is,
True.
you know, kind of a similar kind of back, but you can't have too many running backs these days. We saw that. Ask my fantasy football teams last year.
Or again, ask Chip Kelly because, you know, he's got like 8 running backs himself.
Yes.
They're going to run the wishbone triple option.
Exactly. Yeah, so I did see that, and, you know, sometimes I wondered, did he just need a change of scenery? Does he, you know, did he not fit in the Jets system? And so hopefully in Arizona he will fit their system better. What do you think, Sharona?
Well, I think that the shelf life of an NFL running back is relatively limited, especially
Mhm.
when you're a guy like Chris Johnson who got 300 plus carries per year. I mean, he's been extremely healthy for the most part during his career, but he's got a lot of mileage on the tires, and he wasn't CJ2K at the end of his Titans career. He
No.
had one really good game as a Jet, and so I certainly hope that he gets another opportunity. You want to see guys get a chance and compete, and all of that. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. And like you said, you do want to see people compete, and you want to see people do well. For the most part, you do. For the most part, there's those few, but
your
it's
favorite center, did he get signed by anybody?
yeah, no, he didn't.
No.
Oh, Cat, I don't know, but you got to get indoctrinated. I can't stand Dominic Raiola. He was our center for forever. And they cut him in the off season, and hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. And he has not been picked up. He still wants to work. Yeah, so there's that. He's just made me mad because he throws teammates under the bus and just, is a dirty player. He's a dirty player. He is a dirty player, I think. And, there's no room
We
for
all
that.
have those guys that it's just impossible to support.
Yeah,
Exactly.
good riddance. Good luck.
That type of thing. Good
It's
luck,
fun.
good riddance, all that good stuff. So there's that.
All right.
And then speaking also about my team, the Lions, there's a big thing going around the past couple of days. Brian Broyles is one of our wide receivers, hoping to stay with the team, I should say. And he, I guess, made a speech and said that he and his wife and now newborn son are only living like they make $60,000 a year.
Yes.
That is absolutely brilliant. He has like a $3.6 million contract. I think that's brilliant. More people need to do that. I think that people need to really, especially athletes, and think that you're set. Families, people, you think you're set, especially if you've never had that type of money or been around that type of money, and you're like, oh, I'm good. It really isn't going to last you that long. So living like you only make $60,000 a year, it's beautiful. It's a good thing. You can put that money away and do some awesome things with it. So I think that's a beautiful thing. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Yeah.
I think he needs to tell people about it. I think he needs to go on a little tour. You know how they have those house flipping, the people who flip houses and stuff like that coming to your neighborhood?
Yeah.
He needs to do that for NFL people. He needs to do that for
I think the news comes at a good time when you see the success of a show like Ballers, which is showing the extreme extravagance of the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you show a guy like this who's like, yeah, I check my stocks every morning. And I loved that, how he's on his phone, fiddling with his stocks in the morning. And I'm like, that's awesome.
See, I'm so anti-Ballers. I refuse to watch it. I refuse to acknowledge its crappy existence. I can't believe I used to think Dwayne Johnson was hot.
I will fully admit my passion for Dwayne Johnson is unacceptably high. I met him once, and he told me I had beautiful eyes. So I mean, he has my heart.
You're done.
See, I mean, that's a reason to like somebody. If they compliment you and stuff, sure.
Yeah, he was quite possibly the most charming celebrity I've ever met. So I don't care if it's just a show of him sitting in a room for 30 minutes doing nothing. I will probably watch it. But then you add in, I do think it's cool seeing the football side, because growing up in Miami, you do see kind of the athletes living these lives that are not sustainable post-football unless you take care of your money.
Exactly. So that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. So shout out to you, Ryan Broyles.
Yes, they should have him speak at the rookie symposium.
Absolutely,
They should.
I mean, if they're going to have Pac-Man Jones speak, they should have Ryan Broyles speak.
Yeah, only fair.
Yeah.
Only fair.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Anything else, Kat? I didn't take the segment from you, right?
No, no worries. I think NFC, it's been relatively quiet. You've seen Jay Cutler continue to be Jay Cutler. And I think other than the Cam scuffle, it's been pretty quiet in the NFC.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Yes,
Thank goodness.
I like
there's a young wide receiver for the Seahawks people are raving about, Tyler Lockett. I drafted him in one of my fantasy leagues. And the other thing I think that came out that was kind of interesting to me, just because I play fantasy football and I drafted him, is that, of course you didn't really expect him to, but it doesn't sound like Todd Gurley's going to play in the preseason.
Right.
That he might not even play in week 1, but you would think that, if he's healthy, they'll get him running and going pretty early on.
You would think, you would hope, actually, with a pick that high and knowing his issues. You want them to wait a little bit, but you also want him to get in there.
We need to do a fantasy football segment soon. Maybe get Loza back on and have her come in here and talk some fantasy football with us, because it's that time of year. Fantasy drafts are going on. I'm doing a MFL 10 as we speak. That's why I sort of kind of keep popping over to see if it's my turn to draft. Well, let's talk a little bit about the AFC. Obviously, the big news is Geno Smith, but let's talk a little bit about, it sounds like the Cleveland Browns might be interested in Ray Rice, that he might get an opportunity. I was curious what you ladies thought about that. I wouldn't have a problem if the Browns gave Ray Rice an opportunity.
I wouldn't. I'd be okay with it. I mean, I think that he's had a season removed, and I think that, everybody's, it sounds like almost willing to give him another chance. At least teams are willing to look at him and all that other good stuff. So I think
he's paid his price. I mean, he's at least a guy that paid his price, right?
Right. Exactly.
I think that's the big thing. He did take, I think originally when his original suspension and all that, you kind of hurts as a human. I think, not even just as a woman, but it's, it has been a year. It's, his family has moved on. He's moved on. Hopefully he's undergone some sort of anger management.
I think that he had
therapy.
to. I think that was part of the,
And hopefully he took it seriously. And if it, what, now it's time to redeem himself and show that you can. I think actually he can be a positive change now. Show you can come back and be a better person after making a horrible, horrible decision.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Speaking of the Browns, be interesting. The quarterback situation, always interesting for the Browns. It sounds like Johnny Manziel's a little nicked up. That was kind of the concern you had about him. He's a littler guy, and he's a guy who thrives off of taking chances and moving around and getting out of the pocket. But I certainly hope that we'll get to see him play quarterback. Speaking of a guy who's paid his dues, he went to rehab and he's been working on himself, and the Browns have every incentive to hope that their former first-round draft pick, one of them anyway, right? Because I don't know if Josh Gordon was a later round. I think that second or third round. I can't remember where they drafted him, but he's not going to be playing. So, you certainly hope to see Johnny Manziel get an opportunity. And, speaking of running backs, there's sort of kind of big news from toward the end of last week. I don't remember if we talked about this or not, but Arian Foster, running back for the Houston Texans, injured his groin and had surgery, and it sounds like he's going to be out 3 or 4 months. And so other guys, some younger guys are getting. We thought maybe that they might take a look at Chris Johnson, but it doesn't sound like they're interested. They had Yes, we did talk about it because we talked about Pierre Thomas.
Yeah, I was about to say
I
I
remember
thought they
now,
were
Kate.
kind of taking a look at Mr. Thomas.
Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about Pierre Thomas. I still think that they should trade for Christian Michael. We'll see. So that is going on. Let's see. Well, I've got some notes here. Let me pull it up and see.
Okay.
We talked about Dwayne Bowe. Speaking of the Browns, Lord, poor Dwayne Bowe just can't get right. I mean, he's okay. He's just injured again. He's got his hamstring is all dinged up, and so that's really sad. We didn't. I just want to real quick jump back to the NFC and say shout out to my bae Navarro Bowman, who's back, who's going to play this year. I'm so excited. Some good news for the
49ers outside of
They've been through, gosh, Alden Smith.
yes,
What?
that's who I was just about to talk about.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about him.
I mean,
how sad is that?
That is sad because I think the sad part is that he was saying that it wasn't a DUI, but I wasn't drunk though. It's like everything that you did, the thing that you're hung up on is it wasn't a DUI. It's like, really, dude? Really?
Yeah.
It's just so sad.
It's a sad situation. It is a very sad situation, and he needs help.
Yeah.
He needs help.
Focus on that and admit your mistake and say that, and people are going to be far more forgiving and more likely to give you a second chance as opposed to just continuing to repeat, not a DUI.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And it's just sad because you hate to see people with this much talent and just this, that essentially have the world right there for them and can do anything and so talented and just so good of an athlete that this happens. And it's addiction, problems like that, they're tough. They are hard to beat.
They are.
And they are. And the hardest thing is realizing that you have a problem. And that's where, it all needs to kind of stem from is yourself. And once you realize that you can't do it by yourself or that you have a problem, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you have to wonder, it's his third time being in trouble, at least. Excuse me. So you have to wonder, the 49ers disciplined him. As I recall, I don't think the NFL has the NFL ever disciplined him? I can't remember.
I think, wasn't he suspended for 9 games or something like that?
I couldn't remember if that was. I couldn't remember if that was a team or.
I think that was NFL. Really, I think the NFL gave him that suspension. I think, but I can't remember. But I know he did miss games, and I want to say that the NFL made him miss those 9 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, and the NFL did suspend him.
Okay. Good for them. They got it right on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're going to see if, a judge agrees whether or not they got it right on Tom Brady. We haven't really talked much about him.
We haven't talked about your boy Tommy.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote about it. I took a look at all the legal issues. I mean, it's just a bad look for the league. I mean, it's just a bad look for the league. It's kind of curious that they haven't. That there's some really serious issues involved here, and cheating's bad. It's bad for the game. It's bad for sports, and I think that the NFL is right to take a hard stand against that because that is what has, the fact that, that they are fairly careful about, image and things like that is contributed to making the game as popular as what it is. So I understand how it went down and why Ted Wells did what he did. we'll see if a judge agrees. But it sounds like they were ordered to have some additional settlement talks today. We haven't heard anything from all of that, and they're having a settlement conference tomorrow. So stay tuned. I guess we'll find out.
Just
What do you
end it
ladies think? I
already.
mean, do you think that there's something to it?
Go ahead, Kat.
Honestly, I'm torn. I don't want to be accused of being just one of those people who hates the Patriots. I don't. I think Tom Brady is a fantastic quarterback. I think it's silly to say otherwise. But I have to say, if he truly did know, the evidence doesn't seem strong enough for me. If he really did know the balls were deflated, he should have done more about it. At the end of the day, I still think it was a relatively hard punishment for it. I think maybe 1 game suspension, a slap on the wrist, and that's kind of it. But I think the 4 games plus the $1 million against the team, plus the first round draft pick in 2017? 2016? What year is it?
Something like that.
The first round draft pick in 2016.
2016.
The first and the fourth, I believe.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit extreme, but it was the same situation as with Bountygate. Bountygate was wrong. Roger
It's
Goodell.
very, very similar to Bountygate.
Roger Goodell went too far.
Yes.
Well, maybe he went too far against the players, but the Saints, their management and coaches, they got what they got, right?
They did. I thought it was a bit heavy to suspend our coach for an entire year for it, but again, I think that I'm a firm believer that one person should not have that much power. The commissioner should be split between, say, 3 people so that there can always be a presence of a sane mind to kind of weigh between 2.
But do you not think that that's what happened here? That Ted Wells was the guy to go out there and do that and get the information and.
Oh, of course, but at the end of the day, it's Goodell who has the final say, and
Sure.
he's king of them all. I mean, you can't be like, nope, Goodell, let's revisit this. I mean, you can, but it may not go your way.
Well, and you can, in a sense. I mean, you can do what Tom Brady's doing, and
Exactly.
of course, the NFL filed suit first, but still,
Yeah.
there's going to be a federal judge, to take a look at it. We'll have to have a show where we talk, and I know the optics to all of that. I mean, weird like that. And certainly, in other industries, there are other checks and balances and and different things, but yeah, that's kind of what the players bargained for.
Yeah.
The thing I haven't had a chance to actually take a look at this. One of the more interesting things about this, then we'll move on. We need to talk about Geno Smith and finish out. But one of the more interesting things, just from a negotiation standpoint, is what the players got in exchange for giving up their very, very extremely friendly forum in Minnesota, because the NFL, took it to New York, so they're not in this very friendly forum.
Yeah.
And that's going to make a huge difference. The players have had a judge who has really been over backwards to help them in developing this law of the shop that Kessler talks about. Not saying that's right or wrong, it's just the way it is. So it's going to be interesting to see to what extent that changes things. But anyway, okay, let's talk about Geno Smith. Geno.
Boom, boom. So, okay, you guys, question.
Where's the beep? Beep, where's my money? Isn't that what Rihanna says?
Yeah, see, that's what I was going to say. It's either, that one by Rihanna, or I was thinking, would it be inappropriate if they started playing Through the Wire when he comes back by Kanye West?
Oh, well.
Too soon? No? I don't know. Oh, goodness.
So, okay, apparently the deal is just what we know now. Excuse me, you guys, I'm so sorry. My allergies are bothering me. The backstory is that I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. linebacker for the
Okay.
Jets, not a high draft selection. I think Sonja said 4th round, something like that.
Yep.
Invited Gino to speak, to help out at his football camp, and Gino had him purchase him a plane ticket and whatnot that cost allegedly $600, and allegedly someone close to Geno Smith died and he couldn't make it, allegedly, and so he didn't show up and he hasn't paid dude back yet. Now, first of all, my whole thought was, why you making some other dude buy your plane ticket?
Thank
I
you.
mean, that just
Yes.
seems
Yes.
wrong.
That's shady right
What
off
a
the bat.
tool.
That's the weirdest
What
part.
a tool.
Why did Gino not just book his own plane ticket?
Yeah.
Just a
I mean, I
ticket.
don't know if that's the law of the shop or not. I'm trying to find out if that's something that is it told Geno Smith, I'd get some other damn person to come do my football camp. He could kiss my buttocks.
Or maybe, and this is just me going way out on a limb. I have no clue, but maybe this was kind of like some veteran rookie thing. Like, all right, look, if I'm going to do your camp, you got to pay for me, you know? Maybe
Yeah, but
it was
maybe
something
what's
like
Geno
that.
Smith done in this league except embarrass the Jets?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
there's that too. So, you know.
He doesn't really have the I'm a superstar.
Cachet.
Yeah.
But you guys
Yeah.
remember he's Pro Bowl worthy, right?
Well, what did he say? He's going to win 6 Super Bowls or something like that?
Something like that.
Listen, I used to defend Geno Smith. I was one of the biggest Geno Smith defenders, but dude would not shut up.
Right.
And every time he opened his mouth, it was like, oh my God, what did you just say? Oh. And so I just quit.
I know. You were trying.
Quit.
You were trying. And I give you props for trying.
did.
I give you props for trying to defend Gino.
Oh,
But
gee.
no.
I did.
That's
So now here's the question.
Else?
We know
Oh, go ahead.
we know that sports is violent. We know that things happen. It was a fight inside the locker room. Is dude linebacker going to face any sort of discipline from the league? That's pretty.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't. I'm not.
Or is that a team? The team should handle. Well, they released him, so they can't do anything.
They released
He's been
him, so they
released.
really can't do anything. The
Yeah.
team can't. I mean, they released him, so that's as bad as they can do.
Yeah.
I did see somewhere though that the league was going to start investigating because
I
it,
saw that.
violated contracts of their personal conduct policy. So
Well,
we'll see what happens with that.
Let's hope. I mean, let's see if he gets another team first before if anyone
Well.
picks him up. But I mean, that's a long shot, I think.
yeah.
And
Yeah, the league does have a history of, but I think that they would have to do something. It is very interesting still to me, though, that the league has not addressed Darryl Washington whatsoever, period, point blank. Now, he is still suspended indefinitely for drugs, but, he still has that domestic violence charge on his record that the league never dealt with. And so, look, I wrote an article kind of defending the league in Deflategate, but I'm critical. They could do a lot of things a lot better.
Yes, they can. They totally can. They can do a lot of things a lot better, and it's going to be interesting how they do this, and in the end, just how they handle it, and if they're even going to say anything about fights at camp, which honestly, you can't really police that type of thing.
No, I don't think that they should. No. Lord knows they don't listen to me, but fights are gonna happen.
I was about to say it's gonna happen, and honestly, those types of things are up to your locker room to kind of handle and get order. Bottom line, it's your locker room.
This can't be the first locker room. I would be stunned if this is the first locker room fight that's happened in training camp this year. This just happens to be
probably not, but it is
the biggest.
Definitely the first. I can anything to this scale.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever.
It happens. I mean,
And
Yes.
and I said this earlier. I'm curious what you ladies think. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I'm sounding like Chris Carter now. I was going to bring that up, but I'm not gonna. Because he kind of sort of said something that not the same way I was thinking it or tweeted it out. But you do have to wonder how much respect Geno Smith does carry in the locker room. Did
That's what I
nobody
was-
come to his defense? Did nobody? I mean, it sounded like everybody was like, oh, well, we got a new quarterback now.
Exactly. He had it coming. And that makes sure with somebody who
It's magic.
Exactly, who's a fifth round draft pick that feels that they can step to a veteran quarterback.
That's
like that.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. This dude thought he did it.
He did it.
That to me says a lot about what kind of respect Geno Smith carries in that locker room.
I can't think of a single other veteran quarterback that at least one teammate wouldn't jump to the defensive in the locker room. Who does that? This guy has no credibility on the team, so that's either he's insanely ballsy or Geno.
Listen, Titans defensive lineman Jarrell Casey, who is a beast on the field, but who is as meek and mild-mannered in the locker room as you could. Well, he's one of the meek ones. I mean, he's certainly not Justin Hunter is probably the most quiet and meekest. And look what happened with him. We're still trying to figure out what happened with Justin Hunter, but that's a topic for another show. Running out of time. But Jarrell Casey is not the kind of guy to pick fights. He's not Albert Hainsworth.
Right.
And he punched Geno Smith.
See?
So it must be Geno.
That tells you a lot.
It's Geno.
It's Geno.
It's Geno. We tried.
It really does. Yeah. Really does. Gosh, 5 minutes to show in. Ladies, it goes by so fast.
It does. And that cat especially goes by fast.
It really does. Well, I meant to mention this at the beginning of the show, but I suck and didn't. We are so happy to have Kat with us, you guys. Kat is new to the Tuesday night Zone Blitz webcast, and we're just absolutely thrilled to have her. We want to thank her for joining us. It's an exciting time for the Zone Blitz to have such a wonderful, not just such a wonderful representative of the New Orleans Saints, but just an all-around great gal and just a great person to be around. So, Kat, thank you so much for joining us.
I was so excited when I got that. I don't remember if it was a Twitter or it was an email, but I was like, yes, I was so excited.
That's what you
we
were
very
very
excited too.
when I reached out to you.
We were so excited too. So excited too. Big announcement next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I know I promised you guys last week, but we think it's going to actually happen next week. We will be coming to you live via Spreecast, and that will give you an opportunity. You can go to the NFL Female website, hopefully, as long as it's up, and interact with us. You can send us questions. Excuse me. You can interact with us. So we hope that you will join us, that you will send us questions, that you will comment, and it's exciting times for the Zone Blitz, and we're very excited to be back on the air, and to be bringing you all the latest and greatest in NFL news.
Yay.
Yes, we are excited. Woohoo, football's back, guys.
Yep. All right, so Kat, before we get out of here, tell us what's going on with you. Give us the latest.
With me as a human or with my team?
Both.
Me as a human is doing fantastically, but I'm excited for the Saints. They had a rocky scrimmage, a few missed calls, things like that. But some of the players, I'm excited for Brandon Coleman. I'm excited for Stephon Anthony. And if anyone else saw that Drew Brees video of him hitting the golf cart, yes, our boy's arm is back. So I have faith that he is going to have another ridiculous season with hopefully
I hope so.
fewer interceptions.
Yes, I'm definitely Team Drew.
I mean, how can you not be Team Drew?
I know, he's so great.
You're
He's
not
a nice guy. He's a good guy.
He's so adorable. You just want to hug him. He's so adorable.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's a cute
Sonja?
little kid. So let's see, what's new with me / Lions? Not too much. Life is good. Be putting out some things. I actually thought of a name for my column with NFL female for the season, so stay tuned for
Oh,
that. It's cheesy,
oh,
but
awesome.
it's good. It works. So
This is the best.
it is good. You'll like it. In terms of the Lions, let's see. Things have been going pretty well. I mean, everybody's saying the right things right now, which is all you can ask for. Heard some encouraging things about Eric Ebron.
I saw that.
Yeah. So that
He
he's
said he
kind of
wasn't really healthy at all last year.
he
Not
wasn't
completely.
healthy. He really wasn't kind of getting it. And so
Yeah.
it sounds like maybe this year he's starting to get it a little more. He's not really talking much to people outside of the Lions media, like the Lions themselves, their media people. So it's probably going to be hard to talk to. But I like that, though, because that means
Yeah.
he's focusing more and trying to figure out what he needs to do
And him in one
to
of
be
my
the
fantasy leagues. So I have big
exact.
plans for young Mr. Eric Ebron. You don't, first year tight ends, unless they're, I can't even remember a first year tight end that did awesome from the, I mean, it takes a little while to,
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
to get in. All right, Kat, where can people on Twitter?
You can find me at Lash-Williams with a K, not a C, and follow me for all the Saints updates.
All right, Sonja?
You can find me at mom, 2, 3, RN on Twitter.
All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Sports by Sharona. You can find me always at NFL Female, at Pro Player Insiders. And if you're at all interested, I just wrote a little ditty about Deflategate on my own little website, Sports by Sharona. Well, it's actually back talk now, but it has there are layers to it. And Sports by Sharona is still there. Just go to the sports section of that website. Catch me tomorrow morning on Back Talk with Sharona. I'll be talking to another attorney, Lisa London. We'll be talking about Deflategate, about Donald Trump, and a lot of other different things. So tune in for that, 10 o'clock a.m. Central Time. Shout out to Liz, as always, for whom this is possible. Join us next week, same time, same place, hopefully on Spreecast. You've been watching The Zone Blitz by NFL Female. Have a great evening.